She ran him down and then pulled out the strap. Bro, I think any mom would do this, bro. I hope so.
Miriam Rodriguez is a mother who tragically lost her daughter to the brutality of Mexican cartels. Overwhelmed by pain and a thirst for justice, Miriam transformed from a grief-stricken mother into a vigilante activist. This is the powerful story of a mother who relentlessly pursued 10 cartel members responsible for the death of her beloved daughter. Let's dive into the life of the main character of this tragic tale. Miriam Elizabeth Rodriguez Martinez was born in 1960 in San Fernando, where she lived a seemingly ordinary life. However, due to the ongoing cartel turf wars and violent most of Miriam's family, including her son, had already relocated away from San Fernando. Between 2007 and 2012, Mexico experienced an inclining surge of violent occurrences that led to a 3 times increase in the number of murders. During this time, more than 60,000 lives were lost to violence, and countless civilians were either reported missing or forced to abandon their homes in fear of danger. Despite the anger, Miriam's 20-year-old daughter, Karen Alejandra Salinas Rodriguez, decided to stay in the city to finish her education and assist her mom with her business. Everything was as great as it could be. Unfortunately, tragedy hit the Rodriguez family. In 2012, Miriam's daughter Karen was abducted by the infamous Los Zetas cartel. Miriam and her family searched tirelessly for her daughter. The Zetas demanded the family pay a heavy ransom in exchange for their daughter's life. The term Los Zeta might sound familiar to you. You see, Los Zeta is a Mexican criminal organization based in Nuevo Laredo. The gang originated in the late 1990s when commandos of the Mexican army abandoned their ranks and started working as the enforcement arm of the Gulf Cartel.
See, that's why I'm telling you, bro. Mexico cartels everywhere, bro. Like, that is crazy. Like, she ain't do nothing but stay there, try to help her mom out. You feel me? Finish school. Gotta worry about this dumb shit.
That was one of the most dangerous drug cartels and was known to utilize shock and awe tactics, which means they don't hesitate to or kill or hit other people. The gang is mostly involved in drug trafficking, but they also operate through protection rackets, assassinations, extortion, kidnappings, and other illegal activities.
Last week, you had the worst in this entire drug war, with 72 migrants killed by the Zetas, one of the drug cartels that operates primarily just below Laredo and Brownsville, Texas. They actually operate all over Mexico, but that's sort of their home base. They're accused of gunning down 72 migrants. That's obviously the worst that's occurred in
like a lot of
incredibly bloody drug war.
On a fateful day in 2012, 20-year-old Karen Rodriguez was driving her truck through a rural area when 2 trucks encircled her. 2 men came at her with guns, dragging her from the car and into theirs. Later, the 2 men took her to the Rodriguez family home and tied her up. They were about to proceed with their ransom plan when a family friend dropped by and witnessed the scene, ruining the kidnappers' plans. At this point, the kidnappers decided to abduct both Karen and the family friend. After the kidnapping took place, Karen's family started receiving threats and ransom demands. Miriam and her family had no choice but to take out a loan from the bank to pay their daughter's ransom. Yes, a loan. Apparently, there have been...
I bet you over there, them banks over there is killing it, bro. You know how many people get kidnapped over there and they gotta go to the hit the bank up just to try to get money out, take out a loan? You feel me? Like,
many kidnapped
just so they can get their families on back, and then got to pay the bank back on top of that.
Ransom loans. Miriam and her husband almost had no trouble receiving one. They were willing to pay as long as their daughter was safe. Miriam and her husband were told to drop the ransom money off at a local medical facility. They were directed to wait at a nearby cemetery for further instructions, but the couple was lost contact. Miriam refused to give up. She asked to meet with the gang members, and they agreed. The meeting took place at a local restaurant called El Junior. Miriam met with a man who tried to demand more money from her without telling her the whereabouts of her daughter. Miriam couldn't get any information from this person. However, he was said to be wearing a cheap plastic radio on his belt. Miriam reported hearing a constant voice coming from the radio and believed his name to be Sama. The man, Sama, stated that he didn't have Karen, but they could help Miriam locate her daughter for a fee. The challenges Miriam faced to locate her daughter's whereabouts became even more daunting. Desperately, Miriam agreed to pay the gang $2,000, but they still wouldn't answer her calls. Finally, when they did return her calls, the kidnappers asked for an extra $500. The family continued to wait, but Karen never returned. Miriam is now separated from her husband and living with her eldest daughter, Azalea. She knew at this point that Karen would not be returning. The heartbroken mother swore to keep searching until she tracked down every one of her daughter's kidnappers.
That's a real one right there.
Vigilante detective work begins. An important note to remember is that the reason
Miriam
Miriam had to go to
such
such lengths to investigate her daughter's disappearance is because the police refused to do any work to help the Rodriguez's family. Miriam is more determined than ever to find these people who took her daughter away from her. And where better to begin than with Sama, the only member of the gang she met with. Remember that family friend who was abducted along with Karen? He was actually released shortly after his abduction because he wasn't worth anything to the kidnappers. Miriam managed to press him for the physical description of his captors, which was enough for Miriam to confirm that Sama was involved in her daughter's disappearance. In this day and age, almost everyone has a social media account. It's not hard to locate someone, even a notorious gangster. Miriam begins scouring the internet to try to locate the face of the man she met at the restaurant. Miriam spent hours and hours searching Karen's profile for the slightest hint of anything related to her kidnapping. While browsing on Facebook, she eventually stumbled upon a picture of a man who bore the resemblance to Sama. He was standing next to a woman dressed in an ice cream store uniform. After conducting a more thorough investigation, it was revealed that the uniform belonged.
Imagine how long it took, bro. Imagine how long it took to scroll through all them profiles on Facebook, all them pictures, all them videos. I'm quite sure she looked at every single one, bro. That is crazy. Who mother doing the same? Keep it a buck. Your mother doing the same thing for you? Keep it a buck, yo. Go ask her right now.
Victoria, which was nearly 2 hours away from her location. She immediately recognized him from their meeting at the El Junior restaurant. Miriam located the ice cream shop and began stalking the store on a regular basis. She found the woman employee from the picture and memorized her working hours. Miriam watched the woman employee during her shift and waited patiently for Sama to show up. Finally, when she spotted Sama coming into the store, Miriam waited to follow the couple home and recorded their address. This sounds really creepy and all, but I guess it's not that bad when the person you're stalking is the kidnapper and potential killer. Still, this information is good, but it's not enough to get the police involved. Miriam needs more information. She needs to get closer to these people. And in order to do that, she needs to go undercover.
Bro, dang.
Miriam cut her hair and dyed it bright red.
I ain't gonna lie, they can make a show.
She put on an old government uniform she kept from an old job at the health ministry and went from door to door in Sama's neighborhood conducting fake surveys. Her goal is to collect as much information about Sama as possible. After she's done all the hard work, Miriam took her findings to the local authorities, hoping they would lend her a hand. Unfortunately, she ran into a bump in the road. It turns out the kidnapping and crime rates in the city had declined tremendously.
In those areas, there were shootings and kidnappings. 11 people reported killed.
There were over 70,000 missing person cases due to the cartel activity.
Wow,
additionally,
that is,
the number.
Bro, 70,000 people missing? That's still, they didn't say closed. That's case is still open. That is crazy, bro. I'm telling you, bro, I could live in Mexico.
Homicides in Mexico had doubled.
No
significant measures were being taken to address the situation.
Here ain't nothing like
Therefore,
Mexico,
no
bro. I
law
promise you,
officers
it's
cared
not.
enough about Miriam or her daughter to do anything about it. It took Miriam a lot more time to find someone who was willing to help her. By the time an arrest warrant was issued, Sama had already taken off. Miriam was frustrated, but she refused to give up. She spent more time identifying and locating more gang members from Sama's crew. Before you know it, Miriam located a large number of photographs of Sama and his gang crew. That just goes to show how amazing Miriam was at her detective work. Maybe it was an act of karma, but Sama eventually resurfaced. On September 15, 2014, Mexican Independence Day, Miriam's son Luis was closing his shop in Ciudad Victoria when he spotted a familiar slender man in his shop. Luis recognized that the man was Sama. He dropped everything and called his mother while trying his best to keep an eye on Sama. And of course, Sama was arrested. And he quickly gave the police the names of his accomplices who were involved in Karen's abduction. One of the names was Christian Jose Zapata Gonzalez, an 18-year-old. He was brought in for questioning. Miriam witnessed the questioning, and from her perspective, Christian looked like a scared child. Miriam sympathized with the young man. At one point during the interrogation, Miriam came in to offer Christian her lunch and went to buy him a drink. Later, the officers questioned her kindness towards the boy. According to Miriam's friend,
I don't care about none of that sadness, bro. Bro, you do that to one of my family, I don't care. I'm not offering no drink. I'm not worrying about no forgiveness, none of that, bro.
Salgado Villavicencio, who was present during the questioning, Miriam said, "He's still a child no matter what he did, and I'm still a mother. When I heard him just now, it was like my own child." Touched by Miriam's compassion, Christian told the investigator everything they needed to know, which includes Karen's location. "I'm willing to take you to the ranch where they killed them, and where their bodies should still be buried," Christian said in a statement to the police.
Bro, they didn't even find the body.
Christian led them to an abandoned ranch house near San Fernando, Tamaulipas, Mexico, that was littered with bullet holes, a remnant of a gunfight months earlier. The place was left in a horrifying condition. While scouring through the debris of the ranch house, Miriam Rodriguez stumbled upon a scarf. Miriam recognized the scarf belonging to her daughter, and she also found a seat cushion from Karen's truck on the top of the pile. This discovery confirms Miriam's suspicion that her daughter had been killed, except forensic claims that Karen's body wasn't recovered at the ranch, which Miriam refused to believe. In 2015, a group of scientists confirmed that Karen's remains were found at the ranch. Following the revelation of an abundant discovery of dead bodies, the region underwent extensive excavation. However, it was only after Miriam insisted on a second check that Karen's femur was finally found. Miriam was driving home from the ranch when she passed by a barbecue restaurant where she had eaten with Azalia 2 days after Karen was abducted. She remembers meeting Elvia Yulisa Betancourt, an old neighbor at the restaurant as well. Miriam recalls asking Elvia if she had seen Karen, which she denied. It could be a sixth sense or a gut feeling, but Miriam thought the interaction was strange enough to have her start looking into Elvia Yulisa Betancourt. She thinks her neighbor could be an accomplice to Karen's kidnapping. Miriam started researching Elvia and found out that she was involved romantically with one of Karen's abductors, who was imprisoned at the time. Like what she did with Sama, Miriam started stalking the prison during visiting hours. She waited until Elvia showed up and had her arrested. It was later discovered that some of the ransom calls received by the Rodriguez family came from her home. Another point to Miriam for having a great sense of observation. Months passed and Miriam continued her research and evidence discovery work. Soon Miriam ran across a man named Enrique Yoel Rubio Flores, who she recognized as one of the culprits behind her daughter's disappearance. The media called him a born-again Christian. Miriam traced Flores back to his hometown in Aldama and paid a visit to his grandmother. Miriam learned from Flores' grandmother that he attended church regularly, so she started attending mass at his church to observe it. Eventually, Miriam...
I ain't gonna lie, she wild, bro. She is wild, bro. She remind me of that, if y'all ever seen Netflix on the Glory, watch that, bro. It's like one of them Korean shows. Watch it. I'm telling you.
Just like about her findings, and they arrested Enrique Yoel Rubio Flores at the chapel. At the scene of the arrest, Flores' family begged Miriam for mercy, but she scoffed and stated, "Where was his compassion when they killed my daughter?" Yet these weren't Miriam's wildest investigations. At this point, Miriam Rodriguez is 56 years old and has been chasing down her daughter's killers for a few years, but she couldn't care less about herself. Miriam remains persistent. She refuses to back down until she brings all of her daughter's killers to justice. This time she had her eyes on a young florist. Miriam learned that this man used to be a florist before joining the cartel, and he's most likely returned to his old past to stay out of the law enforcement's way. After receiving an anonymous tip, Miriam located the man selling sunglasses near the United States and Mexico border. The man recognized her and ran away. Fortunately, Miriam came prepared. She ran after him, tackled him to the ground, and pointed.
Ain't she like maybe 60? Yo. Yo, Marion. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, Marion that, bro. For real. She ran him down. And then pulled out the strap. Bro.
Miriam detained the man for approximately an hour until the authorities
60 years old.
Okay, so Miriam Rodriguez is not only doing police work at this point, she's doing James Bond work. She literally caught a criminal all on her own. Miriam should have been made an honorary detective at this point. Well,
for real, yo, like she...
Rodriguez dedicated 3 years of her life to tracking down almost all of the living gang members responsible for kidnapping and killing her daughter. She managed to hunt down 10 of them. In her non-stop pursuit of justice, she adopted various cunning tactics, including dyeing and cutting her hair, obtaining fake IDs, and disguising as health workers and election officials. These methods allowed her to gain proximity to the gang's family members and associates. Though most of the time people would slam the door in her face, Miriam remains persistent. Miriam pieces together fragments of information, slowly investigating the men she sought. Her determination and investigation skills brought her widespread recognition in Mexico, but this newfound fame also exposed
recognition. Hell no, bro. I don't want that type recognition. That type, you have a target on your back, bro.
Dominant gang in the country. Miriam's open prisoners managed to escape from the same jail where her daughter's kidnappers were being held.
How the hell they managed to escape from the same? I swear, you can't trust nobody in Mexico. The same, like, they be setting it. Real. Neighbor did that, then the jail, they escaped from the jail. I bet you an officer did it. You gotta worry about the police.
On April 17th, unfortunately in May 2017, Miriam Rodriguez was found dead outside her home. On May 10th.
No! No, bro. God damn. I kind of figured it was going to happen, bro, but I didn't think it was going to happen. Like, damn.
2017, Mother's Day in Mexico. Miriam
on Mother's Day, I ain't gonna lie, they cruddy is, bro, cartels be doing the cruddiest crimes, bro. Did it on Mother's Day. After everything she been through with her daughter, Mother's Day.
Prisoners who had earlier escaped from jail, the people she put away for abducting and killing.
The same people came back and did it.
To seek justice, Miriam Rodriguez became a symbol of courage and resistance against the criminal underworld, demonstrating the lengths a mother would go for her child and inspiring others to do the same. It was reported by the police that the day Miriam was killed, she was driving home to a small house where Karen once lived. She parked and exited her car. Then, a white Nissan truck pulled up beside her and shot Miriam 13 times. Her husband found her lying on the street with one arm in her purse, reaching for her pistol. Miriam died at the hospital. Miriam's death created turbulence across Mexico. Authorities scrambled to search for her killers. Shortly after her death, state government.
Yo, she was a real one, bro, for real. Like, that is crazy. I mean, I expected it, the outcome, but I wasn't thinking, like, you feel me? Like, damn. We'll get at y'all next one, bro. Y'all be safe, be careful. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Yeah, Nazo out.